Hello everyone, welcome back. So in today's video I just want to show you an exercise for working on wrinkles and folds. So what I'd like to do here is first start with a cylinder and then add some zigzag folds back and forth. So these can be overlapping shapes, kind of like C's or V's. The main thing is that you just put a wave back and forth, connect it to the sides, and then when you get to the sides you want to change the perimeter of the cylinder. So make sure to try to wrap it around that cylinder. Then apply the shadows, and this can have a lot of variation. Obviously the shadows can be bigger to imply bigger volumes, bigger forms of the wrinkles. In this case I'm going with some very thin, kind of like, it's almost like this material would be a little bit more like a cotton or silk. So generally the folds are going to be tighter in succession or thinner overall based upon a thinner material. But then if you're drawing something like a leather or suede or some heavy bulky type material, these same folds will have to have a lot more weight. So in turn you're going to make the shadows bigger, stuff like that. And then here I'm just shadowing the cylinder, and then I'll render in the same direction as the shadow to try to help convey that sense of form and volume. I find this to be a really good exercise for beginners to build confidence with, but keep in mind you can also take the cylinder and draw it perspectively out towards you to also, again, strengthen your ability and understanding of this as it might pertain to a sleeve or a leg coming out towards camera. And so for the next example, I'm drawing the upper sleeve area, so the shoulder area. These arrows to the top right are the pinch point below the arm. So with this one, I'm trying to go for a more billowing, organic vibe to the material. The tricky thing here, I think, is to ignore the anatomy. It's very easy to get caught up into, what a shoulder looks like, what the bicep looks like, and then all of a sudden the folds become secondary. In a lot of materials, or a fair amount of articles of clothing, it's more folds and less about the underlying structure. You have to have an idea for where pinch points are, the elbow, the wrist, things like that, as it pertains to an arm. But then again, it's very easy to get distracted by that, and you'll see a lot of arm drawings where it's almost just they were trying to draw muscles and they added wrinkles after the fact. It's very common in comics. It's not a bad thing. Stylistically, it can actually be really cool. I do it a lot, but there is a time and a place for just practicing the folds by themselves and really zeroing in on what they might look like independently of so much of the anatomy. So another thing I think that's helpful to get better at drawing folds isn't just randomly drawing them wherever you think they might occur. They are organic in that way, but there is a little bit of rhyme and reason to them as well. So when you study from life, you can start to see some pretty consistent behaviors. Like one of the things is they radiate downward because of gravity, right? So there's a pinch point, they radiate downwards, but also you'll see a bulk of the wrinkle or fold, and then you'll see it dissipate and kind of the energy of it will kind of fade, especially as it wraps around to the side of the arm in this case, or whatever the area is. So one of the books that I really like that goes into some detail about this is Dynamic Wrinkles and Drapery by Bern Hogarth. And not only are the illustrations just gorgeous to look at and study, but he talks about some of the energy behind the way folds are. And again, it is a combination of pinch points, gravity, but even the energy of the material and the tension of it as it flows around the structure of whatever it is. And obviously there's different tensities or tension from something like a silk to a leather. So you'll have to practice the different folds and see how they occur. But there are a lot of the same similarities, so I don't want to discourage you and make it sound like, oh, there's just so much to comprehend and process. It seems that way at first, but again, I do think there's a lot of consistencies that you start to pick up on, and then you just translate that to the different materials you're trying to draw. So with this particular one, I really just want to show how I'm just using the basic zigzag fold like you see to the right. I'm just trying to make it look and feel like it has a bit more volume with the demonstration on the left. And so now I'm just adding in some more rendering to hopefully make this look and feel a bit more dimensional. Keep in mind too that you'll need to take this now and draw lots of variation, explore different proportions from the folds, and even the relationship, how they break off into smaller folds from the bulk of the fold. Again, the book by Bern Hogarth is a great resource. I'll make sure to link it in the description box below. And also let me know if you want to see other videos covering some of the other types of folds. You have zigzag folds, that's really kind of what we covered today, but then you have pipe folds, spiral folds, different pinch points, diaper folds, stuff like that. So again, let me know if you want more clarification on some of that, and that'll give me more videos to make for you, which is always a good thing. And I want to also say thanks so much for the support of the channel. I'm very appreciative of everybody that watches these videos. And I love it when you leave a comment because it gives me direction and it lets me know what you're thinking and what to do more of, stuff like that. So hopefully this has been informative for you. I'd love to see the work that you come up with, so make sure to tag me in the post. You can find me on Instagram under Robert Marzullo. And as always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and bye for now.